Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. Hey, it's Nigel once again. They say you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, and sometimes the first impression doesn't really go so well. Now, case in point, Gable Steveson. If you remember when I reviewed NXT's The Great American Bash a couple weeks ago, if you haven't already, go check out that review. Gable Steveson's debut really didn't go so well, and things just went off the rails almost from the get go, almost from the entrance, and did things not go well for Gable Steveson. And is that the worst debut of all time, and can he recover from it? In terms of it being the worst debut of all time, my answer to that is probably not. Think about it. There's been a lot of wrestling debuts over the years, obviously, and there's been a lot of really crappy ones. At least it didn't fall through a wall like the Shockmaster. The debut was rough, but in terms of the worst I've seen, I wouldn't really say so. Oh, and can he recover from this? Probably, because a lot of those bad debuts who I kind of brushed upon just a moment ago, they've gone on to have pretty successful careers. If you remember when I looked at Edge's debut, go check out that review. If you looked at when I looked at Edge's debut, that didn't really go as planned. It unfortunately ended with somebody having to retire or due to a very bad injury. Sometimes the debut doesn't quite go as planned. And if they stick with him and he can recover from this, then I'm sure he'll do just fine. But that being said, though, some changes do need to be made. Obviously, the route they're going with this, they can't go with because it's obviously not working. So the main problem, I'm starting with the main problems, I guess. The main problem out of everything is that he's presented too much like Kurt Angle. Well, yes, Gable Steveson was in the Olympics, and I believe he's a gold medalist as well, if I'm not mistaken. Second Olympic wrestling gold medalist to be signed by the WWE after Kurt Angle. That doesn't mean he necessarily has to be Angle 2.0 or Angle Light. Give him his own identity. The problem is that he was too much like Kurt Angle. They tried to present him too much like Kurt Angle, giving him kind of a similar entrance and that similar vibe. Obviously, the wrestling style he probably can't really help because it's a similar wrestling style to Kurt Angle, but just because he has some similarities to Kurt Angle doesn't mean he necessarily needs to be the new Kurt Angle. That I don't think is the way to go for Gable Steveson. And instead, give him his own identity. An example of this is another Olympian in WWE currently, that being Chad Gable. Well, yes, Chad Gable is also an Olympian, but he has his own identity. He does his own thing. That's really what they need to do with Gable Steveson. And the question is, what would that be? He pretty much repackage him and give fans a reason to care. Me and my friend Steve follow him on YouTube at FlaxTV. Me and him were kind of talking about it a while ago. And he brought up a interesting repackaging that I think could work. Pretty much have him be dominant for a bit, and maybe make him heel and or a tweener, or just have him go on an absolute tear, or just have him be vicious and ruthless. I think that could work. Or if you still want to keep him face, maybe just have him do other stuff. Make him a strong but silent type, perhaps. Perhaps just do something. Just don't make him just like Kurt Angle. Another thing they can do is maybe lean into the debut. Obviously, the debut, it was on the pay-per-view / premium live event, so you can't run from it, unfortunately, but embrace it and acknowledge that the debut didn't go well. Oh, and you can make it. He can even make an angle out of that. Had Steveson upset with how his debut went, pretty much takes it out on the rest of the locker room, something of that nature. Or apparently, AEW officials want to give up on Gable Steveson already, but it's just a debut. Who if you give up now, then you're pretty much admitting defeat, essentially. But I think this can be recovered. Or you just need some tweaks here and there, and I think Gable Steveson could be okay in WWE. You just don't make him the next Kurt Angle, and you'll be all good. But nevertheless, that's gonna do it for this discussion video. I know, kind of a brief one, yeah, I've definitely felt interested in talking about this. Is because I do think it can be salvaged. His debut and so far in NXT, and that's really the purpose of NXT. Is it's supposed to be developmental, so if you develop his character, and if that still doesn't latch on, then I guess that's when you throw in the towel. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this discussion. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this discussion. And do you think Gable Steveson can be salvaged in WWE? But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace.